Hi everybody, Justin here. Thank you for watching my part 1 to 5 of how property saved my son's life. Now, many of you have in the comments been very concerned and asking about how is my son Aiden. So I thought I'll invite my son. This is Aiden, and JJ itself is here to support us and maybe share the story from his perspective. So Aiden, what were the symptoms that you experienced?
So there were a couple of lumps on my neck, right? And if you can see over here, this is one of the scars from the biopsy that they did at the hospital. So I had to stay in the hospital for a few days, and after a while, the doctors came out with the lab results, right? And gave the unfortunate news that it was stage 4 acute lymphoblastic leukemia.
Okay, so how do you feel when you first heard about the diagnosis?
Definitely a bit helpless, a lot of questioning life and why I was one of the unlucky ones that had to go through this. A lot of resentment of life and everything.
So what did the days inside the hospital feel like?
It felt very lonely and I felt very isolated at times. Because at the start of my treatment, I had to be in the room alone because of my low immunity, right? And I couldn't go out of the room. I couldn't even step into the toilet in the room. So it was really, really suffocating at times. And just looking outside of the window, right, I could see everybody, all the cars going, and everybody getting to move around. I think it was really saddening to be in that room.
How did the rest of your family handle the situation?
Everyone had to chip in, of course. I remember my mom and dad, of course, had to take a lot of time off their jobs. Accompanying me to appointments, staying with me in the hospital, sometimes overnight, and having to go back to work in the morning. I think it was really draining for them, of course. And a lot of people had to also help, a lot of other relatives also.
Was there ever a moment you thought you might not make it?
I mean, of course, with this kind of diagnosis, right, at my age, it was a lot of uncertainty. Especially at some point, the chemotherapy was not really working as intended, not strong enough. And doctors even suggested doing a bone marrow transplant. So completely killing off my immune system and restarting it. So I think there was a lot of uncertainty on what's happening, and is everything working as intended, all that kind of stuff.
What kept you going during the hardest days?
Definitely talking to all my friends, having one-to-one talks with my family, especially my mom and dad, really connecting on things that we never would have if I didn't get the opportunity to just sit down with them and have that conversation. I think it was really these social circles was really what helped me together through that tough times .
Was there a moment in time during everything that you realized we were facing financial difficulties?
I mean, throughout the entire treatment, right, I will always overhear conversations that my dad and my mom would have with the medical team, and always a lot of numbers being thrown around, right? And especially, like I mentioned, the bone marrow transplant, one lump sum of money just thrown into your hands when you least expect it. And I remember my dad having to take up a full-time job at that time, not doing property, just so that we will have that financial stability, the stable income, just to make sure that some of the bills can be paid. Yeah, that was a really scary time, I guess.
What would you say to someone who's going through something like this right now, whether they are the patient or the family?
I mean, social circles, support circles, really important, right? For a patient, it would be, the people around me, my friends, family, even the social workers. And I guess for my parents, for the caregiver side, it would be a lot of, emotional support from people, always concerned about your well-being also, and also whether y'all can manage the finances or not, whether y'all have people to help if you really need it, all that kind of thing, because your child's well-being is first, but when the bills come, things need to be paid.
Okay. So thank you, Aiden, for sharing. I hope we have answered most of your questions. We really appreciate everyone's concern and well wishes. Thank you and bye.
Bye.
Bye.